Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video, and this time we have a Yugioh video, and this is actually following on from my competition, which you can still check out, it's still going on. This is actually my top 5 of Yugioh decks, with the current ban list. This is not specifically the ones that I think are the best. These are ones which I think can be pretty good, or are definitely pretty fun to play. The ones that have pretty awesome artwork and are just all round cool, so let's get into the top 5. So number 5 we have Mecha Phantom Beasts. I've been a fan of these guys for quite a while. Things I like about them, like all the main cards are generally pretty shiny. I did actually pull a Dracossack a long time ago, and that's part of what got me into Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly again, was because I started picking up packs and I managed to get a Dracossack and I was like, oh, this card looks pretty good. And it turned out to be very good. And it works really well with the actual Mecha Phantom Beast deck. They used to be very competitive last year with the Triple Tempest in there. Nowadays they're a bit less competitive because the 7 plays are harder to make, your opponent's going to stop your plays, and they're complicated in the way that, like, Mermails are complicated. They just have fewer rewards, and one of the great things about them is that very few people actually know what they do, which makes them a lot of fun to use. And they have such random cards like Sonic Boom and Scramble Scramble, which can sometimes win you the game, and yeah, they're just really quite a fun little deck to play. So number 5, Mecha Phantom Beasts. And number 4, we have Exodia. Specifically, the Hope for Escape version of the Exodia deck. What I like about this deck is, first of all, it's very consistent. Secondly, it's got Exodia in it, which makes any deck awesome. And a lot of people find it very hard to play around because they can't deal with it. I mean, occasionally you'll come up with a matchup where your opponent will go Deck Devi on you and... Oh no, sorry, not Deck Dev. Eradicator Epidemic on you. And that will make the game a lot harder. But the principle is still there. It's still a really fun deck to play. And just managing to finish the game with Exodia in your hand is just really awesome. Also, you know, the whole premise of it, the fact that you're drawing over life point difference, so you don't care about taking damage, leads into some really exciting games where you're on like 400 life points towards the end, and you just manage to win, and it gets quite tense in those sorts of games, which sort of adds to the enjoyment. So number 4 is Exodia. Number 3, we have Boojums. I know a lot of people are going to say that this is either their favourite or their absolute least favourite. Boojums are top decking everywhere at the moment. I don't actually have a complete deck. This is, I mean, like, I've got loads of the extra cards and none of the main cards, like Yamato or Mikazuki or Susanoo or anything like that. But I thought I'd mention them not because... not as a deck that I play, but as a deck which I think is really interesting, in that it's all like hand traps and using monster effects to keep you alive and manipulating your grave and your hand and predicting your opponent. And it is actually a very interesting playstyle because you do actually have to think a bit, at least a little bit, when you're playing Boojums. I know some people are going to say that that's a complete lie, everyone goes for hair, but that going for hair every time does not pay off. So, you know, you've got to sometimes go for the turtle, sometimes go for something else that's going to get you out of the situation. It's not actually a deck which you can autoplay, which loads of people think you can. Also, you know, the artwork's really nice on these cards. I love the sort of idea that they're coming together to make the bigger ones, and they have some really awesome support. I mean, Konami just love Boojums at the moment, so they're getting all sorts of support, and Tenki's at 3, so why not? So, yeah, that was number 3, Boojums. So, number 2, we go for Evil Swarms. You've probably seen my deck profile if you watch my channel and like Evil Swarms already. So yeah, these guys are coming in second because they're awesome. Everything about Evil Swarms is awesome. I mean, they're fairly easy to play. You got very shiny cards. You can go for DT versions if you want. The Ophion lock and, locking with key beatle and stuff is just really cool. And they essentially, you start off playing very simply, and then what you go into for your Exceeds makes your plays more complicated. So it's a deck which plays simply against simple opponents and plays more complicated against more complicated opponents. And I like that it's sort of adaptable in what you can side in and cards that you can tech. Like, you can go for Kage to Kage if you want. You can use Allure of Darkness to drop your deck count down. It works well with Effect Veilers because we've got loads of level 4, so you can go into Synchroing an Armades or a Catastrophe if you want. And, you're stopping your opponent because it's a control deck, so you get lots of traps. And I do actually love decks with lots of traps. So yeah, Evil Swarms are awesome. Their Exceed cards are awesome. Extol Knight is insane. But yeah, that's my number 2, Evil Swarms. And in first place in my top 5 of decks, which at the moment I think are awesome, Dragons. Because Dragons are just cool. Dragons are the deck which I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! With. I actually got into it when Dragon rules were insane. And then quickly the baby dragons were gone, and I was like, oh, well, they're still insane. They're still really cool. And they're just a lot of fun to play because they can be really complicated, they can be really simple, depends how you want to play them. I personally like complicated plays, and I mean, if you've seen my deck profiles for like the Majestic Rulers, where we're trying to push Majestic Stardust Dragon and Majestic Red Dragon plays, Red Nova plays, and stuff like that, it's just a really fun deck that gets out some really awesome boss monsters onto the field, and they're all dragons, so in most cases you'll find that you have an out to pretty much everything. But the way it works is, at the moment, because we've obviously got the drop to 1 Dragon Ruler in each, you've got to actually, the deck is more about other styles, so it's like, oh, we're going to play Dragon Rulers with Blue Eyes, and actually you end up with more Blue Eyes cards than you have Dragon Ruler cards. Or you can go Hieratics, and you have more Hieratics than you have Dragon Rulers. But the playstyle is just awesome, no matter what build you take, and that's why Dragon Rulers are number 1, in my opinion, for the moment. So, thank you for watching this video. If you got any comments or suggestions that you have, don't forget you can always leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. My competition is still running on, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Cryptek, and he did a zombie deck unboxing a little while ago. And also Cheese Ninja Tabletop. He's doing some really awesome stuff. And they're doing some really cool videos. So thanks for watching, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.